Hey, I'm Dennis from This Side of Anarchy, and welcome to Band, my show where I let you in on my getting to know other independent bands that I support on social media and that support me in return. And we get to know each other a little better by answering 5 questions each. Please hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube or listening on podcast so you can keep up to date and enjoy this episode.
Hi, this is Dennis. This is the latest episode of Band. I have another band that's been supporting me, and I've been supporting them, so we're all trying to support each other. And this is Abby, and introduce yourself. Where you from, maybe, and how long you've been playing, how old you are.
Hi, my name is Abby Kay. I'm 17 years old from Mooresville, North Carolina, and I'm a bassist and a vocalist. I've been playing bass for about almost 5 years, and I've been singing for about 2 years.
Why did you pick the bass instead of like a guitar or something else? What attracted you to the bass?
I did pick guitar first, but it didn't stick. So
Yeah.
I have my first memory with music was when I was 5 years old. My dad would give me songs like Detroit Rock City by Kiss when I would ask for Baby by Justin Bieber. But that's a story for another time. And I actually started to fall in love with rock music. So when I was 12, he took me to see my all-time favorite band, Kiss, and I was mesmerized by Gene Simmons. And yes, I did proceed to pick up guitar because it's all we had in the house, but eventually I found my way to a bass, and I'm really glad I did.
Cool. Um, uh, so what? I've been kind of reading a few things, and I can't remember everything I read. But are you like a solo artist and have other band members you play with, or do you collaborate with them, or how are you working that out?
So I am technically a solo artist just under Abby Kay, that's me, but I run a hired gun band, so I may not have the same band for every show, but I have a group of musicians that I pull from for every recording and every rehearsal and performance.
And how did you come up with Abby K for a band name? Just it sounded good, or did somebody say, "Hey, why don't you try this?" Or
It's
I know
actually,
I know it's your first and last initial, of course, but
yeah, it is based off of my name, but I actually got it when I was in fourth grade. I was a gymnast, and I created my first Instagram username, and it was Jim Bear Abby K because Jim Bear Abbey was taken. So I guess back then, before I even knew really what music was, I guess I kind of chose it.
mm. um, have you always been a solo artist, or were you in bands before you decided to, and how long? When was the first band you've been in? How long have you been in bands?
So I started playing when I was around 12, 13. And my first band was called Thrive. It was consisting of middle school boys and me. And then I went on to take more of a role in a band in my second band called Jags, and I became the lead singer as well as the bassist. So that's kind of when I started to sing a little bit. Then I also had a few other bands here and there, but eventually I found that I felt like I could be more dedicated on my own because I don't have to wait for everyone to get together to practice. If I want to practice, well, I can get in my bedroom and practice. So I
Hmm.
found for now, for the time being, it was more efficient for me to be a solo artist.
So, where's the you play mainly locally, or have you been? I think you come out to LA and play once or something.
So, of course, right now it's hard to play anywhere, but
Well, yeah, of course, but
for
barring the
yeah,
craziness.
yeah. Um, and it really does stink for us because right before this all happened, we were starting to gain a little bit of traction and book shows a little bit outside of where we normally play. So we do typically play all over North and South Carolina, but I've also played in Virginia, Baltimore, and we had shows booked in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, but those have been rescheduled, and I'm really hoping they still happen, but I'm not sure if they will.
Yeah. Well, I know that's a lot of questions, but that's the first question. There's a lot of questions in the first question, but I packed it in there. So now let's go on to your question.
Okay. So my first question for you is, what was the first experience that made you decide to become a musician?
Thinking back, I can't really ever say I decided. It just kind of became what it became, I guess. Because music was always in my household. Also, my dad didn't play any instruments. He played records. That's what he played.
Yeah.
But ever since I was a kid, he always had music around, and a lot of big band stuff, and um, Perry Como and uh, Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, stuff like that. And then my mom was a little more into the Elvis kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, so, it was, but there was always music, and she would always listen to the pop radio, and I'm pretty sure Beatles were on the pop radio and stuff. But and I remember them telling me, of course I don't remember, I was too young, but I remember them telling me they got me just a little play guitar. Kids when you're 2 years old or whatever. Just I don't even know what it did. But supposedly I just did the yeah 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 song with the Beatles, going yeah yeah. So then and they told me too. We had a gate going down in the basement when I was about that age too, and I just listened to him. He would play music in the basement, and it was just always there. Then what else? When I was a little older, his record player was up in the living room, and I guess, I don't know, I tried to play it once or something, and then he came and the needle was broke or something. I got really yelled at, so I guess I must have always liked music. So then in the second grade, of course, they all had us play like the recorder thing. And then in sixth grade, I have no idea why, but I picked the saxophone. So I started playing saxophone for, I don't know how long. 3-6 months, who knows. And then I don't know, I didn't like the way you had to put your lips and stuff, and and then the case was kind of heavy. It'd be heavy piece of metal you had to carry around.
Yeah.
And I quit that, and then I can't even remember why I wanted to pick up the guitar around age 15. Maybe the stereotypical girls will like me. I don't know. Maybe. I really can't say, but they were skeptical. Oh, you quit the saxophone, you're really gonna keep with this? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna keep with it. So it's been over 40 years, so I've kept with it.
Yeah. That's cool.
So then, just as I learned the guitar, I took lessons for like 3 months. I didn't like the direction, and I basically learned myself by putting on vinyl and just moving the record needle back and forth and trying to play it and play by ear, basically. And when I moved out, put an ad and got into a band and just slowly wrote my own music, and left that band, moved back home, got another band, moved out to LA, got another band, and it's just been in my life. So I don't know if I made a decision. It was just always there.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah.
And all right. And by the way, I have a granddaughter named Abby. She's gonna be 6.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to see her next week. We're supposed to go out there in March, of course, when everything happened.
Yeah.
And I just had a grandson, and I haven't been able to see him yet, other than on Skype. So that was a real bummer. But hopefully nothing crazy happens in the next week, and we'll be able to see them.
Mhm.
Listen to your 2 singles, and they're very good, and you've kind of answered that question. Well, I guess we talk more about the writing process and the collaboration. Do you write most of the music, and then you hire the people to play the parts, or do you like play your bass part and sing it, and then they put their guitar parts when they play, or how does that work?
So I actually write all of my songs on guitar first,
Okay.
and then I add in some lyrics. I figure out what I want for the dynamics, and then I take it to my manager, who's also my producer, and we work with the band and we get the drum parts together. We add in a few new guitar parts, and one thing I never do is I never try to write a guitar solo because my guitarist is insane and he will always do a better job than me. So I always make sure to leave that for him, but I'd say I'm pretty active in the writing and recording process because at the end of the day it is coming out under my name. So I do kind of know what I want.
Right.
Like to have an idea of what it's going to sound like in the end. So I would say I'm pretty hands-on in it.
And how was your first experience recording? How did that go? Was it hard? I remember ours was kind of, it was like a different, new kind of thing.
So my first experience recording was kind of a mixture of incredible and oh my gosh, this is insane. Because my manager put me with two people that are actually people that I look up to in the music industry, Pat Jarasia and Dave McGarry from Red Sun Rising, a band that I had been a fan of for many years. So it was kind of scary playing with like famous musicians for the first time when I was recording for the first time.
Wow.
But I think recording the music part of it, it was a really good experience for me to have under my belt, and I really like the way the track came out, so I think that's a plus too. But we recorded vocals on a separate day, and this song that we recorded was "It Should Have Been Me," and I had never really recorded vocals before, and I'm definitely like a bassist. Bass is my primary instrument. I love singing, but definitely have to work on that a little bit more. And so I had never really focused or paid attention to as much detail as you have to when you're listening back to your vocals and um, singing at levels you really haven't before. So I think in the vocal booth, I struggled a little bit. It took a little bit of time, but I think now I've only released 2 songs, but I've recorded about 4 or 5 songs, and I think I'm starting to get the hang of it.
Yeah, definitely takes a while, especially with vocals.
Yeah.
Um, do you record anything at home, or do you have any software, or do you have any hand in the recording, mixing, mastering process? And do you want to learn any of that eventually, or you just want to stay with the music and let other people do the?
I honestly want to learn as much as I possibly can about music because I know eventually in life, I mean, I'm only 17. I have a long ways to go. So I know I'll run into some of this stuff eventually. So I'm actually going to college for music business and I have to take classes in a bunch of different musical things. So I have started to kind of learn about the recording process. I actually just recorded my first song all on my own. It's called Orange Bang. It's not released under Abby K, but it was a collaboration between me and some other people from around the world. And I wrote all of the music. I played all the guitars, all the bass, and I had a hand in writing the lyrics. So that was the first project I had done recording in my bedroom, and it was pretty scary learning at the same time as like all of these professionals that have been doing it for years and years are saying, okay, Abby, when are you going to send me this next track? Well, this is the first track I've ever recorded, so hopefully tomorrow. But it turned out pretty good, and I definitely think I'll try to start doing more of that.
Yeah, I think it's easier than people give it. I mean, it's not that hard. People think it takes a lot of, and it gets down to you gotta have the talent and the ears, I guess. But
Yeah.
if it's your thing, I guess it's easy. Because my wife kind of always says that, well, you're gifted, you can do that. And I'm like, well, you just do, it's like real easy, you just do this. And she goes, well, I can't do that. So I have a kind of an issue with, sometimes I think kind of badly of myself, but I'm but I know I'm gifted, so it kind of gives me a weird kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's question 2. Up to you. Your question.
Okay, my second question is, how has your music taste evolved as time has passed? What was the first type of music you loved, and what is your favorite type of music today?
It's definitely got events harder and faster and harder and faster as time has evolved. It's kind of a hard question because my taste and range is so wide. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm anything rock, blues, and any kind from any classical to punk to metal to rock to anything
Yeah.
indie and 80s metal, 90s metal, just all kinds of stuff. But um the songs I can remember listening, I used to listen to the radio going to sleep when I was like a teenager, like the Bay City Rollers and Doobie Brothers and Three Dog Night kind of stuff. And then I guess when I was getting a little bit older, my first favorite band was Bachman Turner Overdrive. That was my band at the beginning. And I learned to play guitar to bands like that, and AC/DC, Ted Nugent, Van Halen, Rush, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Peter Frampton, REO Speedwagon, Kansas, Kiss, and just the '70s rock bands, I guess.
Yeah.
And then once the '80s and I got into bands, it started getting harder, like Judas Priest, Scorpions, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, Metallica, Anthrax. It just kept getting faster. It's just like you heard Metallica and we're like, whoa, what the heck? And you're like, wow, go on, you can play fast. And when they first came out, it was just like super fast. And everything just keeps getting faster and faster. And then Motorhead and then Stormtroopers of Death kind of crossed over the metal and the punk kind of thing. Then when I was in a band, my first band, the drummer's parents were from LA, and he went to visit his brother, and he brought back some Circle Jerks and Dead Kennedys, and that was just like, it just blew me away. But it was so fun, fast, and quick. Yeah, I like. I mean, I like long songs. Probably one of my favorite songs is "Thick as a Brick" by Jethro Tull. Have you heard of that one?
I don't think so.
The whole album is one song. It's 45 minutes long. It is a masterpiece. It is crazy. It's got so many parts and you don't get bored with it, and it just takes you on a trip. It is amazing. But I don't know if I could sit down and write in a 45-minute song, but my personality is kind of short. It's like my mind is like, okay, this is it, just like this, and this. Song should be like about a minute and a half. That's about it. It's like I say what I want to say, and that's it. And in a sense, that's kind of the way it's gone lately, because people's attention spans seem to be getting shorter and shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
So the short songs may be good for me and them. I don't know, and then just the punk attracted me because of the anger and the state of society and people messing everything up. And when I was before the band I was in, Society Gone Mad, when we were together like 10 years, released 5 to 7 albums, depending on if you count 2 on one or whatever. But, we released one, then we put it on another one. So I'm like, I don't know how to count it. It's like 5 releases, but 7 releases. So whatever. So, but when I was in the metal band, it just got, for me, boring so much to play the leads, really. I did it for so long, and just so many notes. You're just all. I'm like, okay, I just want to say what I want to say, and that's it. You know, I'll do a little bit of lead here and there, but I just got burned out with the 1,000 notes in 5 seconds. But even though I still can do it, but I really don't like to. All right, what are we on? Okay, so you have a manager. So how much promoting is you and your manager, or how does that work? And how do you balance what you do and family time and if you have a job or writing and recording? I know you're busy, so how do you manage all that?
So all of the promoting on social media is me. I have decided that I want to run all of my own social media as long as I can, which I hope I'm always able to, because I think social media is supposed to be a personal connection with someone, and it can't be personal if it's not coming
Yeah.
from. So I do most of the promoting on social media and stuff like that, and then balancing my time between things has honestly been hard this past year since I signed the management deal, because I'm going to the studio every day after school. Of course, now it's summer, but and I'm recording, rehearsing, performing, and then the past few months before this happened, I started doing interviews in New York, and I had some scheduled for Louisiana and Oklahoma and just all over the place that I had to actually go to. I was doing like media tours.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really hard to stay caught up in school because I am still, I guess now I would technically be going into my senior year of high school, and I have decided that I'm going to homeschool this last year and do half online and half at a community college for music. But I think it really has been hard. Like, I know I try to give the image that like I have my life together because I want to be an inspiration, but it really is hard. Um, and I don't have a job other than music. Music is my one job. I did consider getting a job throughout quarantine, but I don't I don't want to do anything else except for music. So I do give lessons. I sell merch online, and um, I would typically do shows, and I also do a lot of solo performances around my town. Um, that's, well, one, I love doing them, and I love seeing all of my friends and family come out, but it's also my gas money for the month. I try to do one a month, and so I don't think I ever will have a job that isn't involving music, and some people might think that's a great thing because music is what I love to do, but I also know there's some people that think I should be in a grocery store learning how to do that. And I don't really know what the answer is, but right now I'm deciding that I'm just going to stick with music and try to get through college with a degree before I move out to Los Angeles.
Ah, you're going to come out here, huh?
Yes. In about 2 years, I'll have my 4-year degree in music business.
Cool. Uh, and you've garnered a lot of attention, it seems. And how have you handled that personally, and how's it affecting your personal life, I guess?
Honestly, I love it because it's getting me closer to my ultimate goal. And I don't really think it's changed much around here, like in my household. I mean, I'm still required to unload the dishwasher every day and take out the trash. So, I mean, I'm still like a normal kid,
Right.
but it does, every little bit of growth I have in my career just gives me even more determination and inspiration to keep going and get to that ultimate goal. So I would say it hasn't changed much like around the house, but honestly in my heart, because the more of a glance I get at what I want my future to look like, the more I want it.
Okay. Now it's your next question.
Okay. If you could play on stage with any musician, living or dead, who would it be? And have you gotten a chance to play with any of your heroes?
Yeah, somebody asked me this before, and I still, it's, I don't know whether it's just I have my own style, but it's like I have my style and they have their style. It's like I can't even imagine me like playing with Geddy Lee, you know. It's like what am I gonna like play? It's like,
Hmm.
but the only person that I really came up with was Lemmy from Motorhead. That would be cool. That would be really cool.
That's the same answer I have.
I think I could play with Lemmy.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about it too. Maybe Alice Cooper. I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe Alice Cooper. He's cool. I like Alice Cooper. So, and I haven't had a chance to play any of my heroes, like playing a song with them, but we've been on the same stage. Like we played, I believe it was in Riverside, California. We played with a band called DI. They're one of the bigger 80s punk bands. And to this day, I am so mad. I have no memory of it. It is the strangest thing. Because it was weird. It must have been 2 or 3 years ago. I was going through stuff, trying to archive some of the old band stuff so it didn't get lost or eaten or fire or whatever, just kind of digitizing everything. And then I read an interview that we did, and I said, we played with DI the other day and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? We played with DI? I don't even remember doing that. Like, are you kidding me? Why don't I remember playing with DI? But I guess maybe it's the personality that them up, but I don't know your personality. But if it's your personality to do everything, which is kind of my personality, they called me Gramps ever since I was like in my 20s even, because I was the guy that did stuff. I got things done. It's just like they were like kind of, I don't want to say flakes, but just kind of
Yeah.
doing their own thing and whatever, blah, blah. And I'm pretty much the one that, two of the bands, me and the second band, me and the other guy were pretty much doing the thing together. But the first band and the third band, it was just me. So I think I was probably doing everything, doing so much, taking care of things that I don't even remember that it really happened.
Hmm.
So don't be so busy to enjoy what's actually happening. And then the other band we played with that was really cool was a band called No Means No. They're one of my favorite punk bands from Vancouver. And I played with them. The punk band I was in was actually 75% of another band called Three Women in Black, which it's kind of weird. It was basically the drummer and his wife and two other people, and then they lost their bass player. So our bass player from Society went over there and played with them for a while, and then they lost their guitar player. So then I joined in. So it was basically most of Society Got Mad was playing in Three Women in Black with a girl singer. So it was kind of so then that band was able to play with No Means No. So that was fun. I do remember that. No Means No is like a really good punk band. And that's the answer to question 4. All right. So, what are your next future plans? You've pretty much answered that. You're going to college and you're doing stuff.
Hmm.
Well, how's your mom and dad feel about you? How about another one? A surprise question. Being in a band and going all these places at such a young age, and how did your parents handle that? I know my parents didn't even let me go to concerts when I was 18 or 17. I left a week before I turned 18, but they're like, you're not going to any concerts? I'm like, I want to go to see AC/DC. No. Uh,
I will say my dad loves it. My mom loves it too, but my dad is a complete music nerd. He knows all of the music trivia, every song. He's kind of a know-it-all when it comes to music, but I still love him. Um, and he's honestly the reason why I am playing music. And so I think he really likes having me in a band because it's kind of something that he's always wanted to do. And when it comes to my mom would support me no matter what. She would support me as a musician or a dancer or a teacher or a doctor. She would be behind me no matter what. And so I think she is really proud of me and she always supports me. So, and I'm very lucky. I have two very supportive parents.
and how involved are they in like the decision making or anything on getting a management thing or where you go or stuff like that?
Abby K is a business that my parents own because I'm not 18. So they do have like the overall say, but I'm always in on the discussions. It's always both of my parents, me and my manager, and we like to make decisions that are best for me. And so I would say they're always in on the discussions and the decision making. But at the end of the day, if they know it's gonna be a good decision for me, they'll let me have a lot of freedom with what I'm trying to do. So, yeah.
Cool. Cool. All right, on to your fourth question.
Okay. So I listened to your single 12 Years, and could you tell me about the writing process behind this song? Did the lyrics or did the music come first?
I don't remember on that song, but usually what happens is almost every time I pick up my guitar, I'll come up with three tunes or parts of tunes, and I'll just have to record it because if you don't record it, it's gone.
Yeah.
Back in the day when you didn't have an iPhone or Android just to hit record and remember stuff, so many songs in the past they're gone. We'd be in the band and we'd be like, oh, that's a cool song. What song did we play last week? I don't remember it. No, I don't remember it either. Oh, it's gone. Let's try to write something out. So usually I'll just write music and then I have lyrics that I'm just coming up with constantly, hearing stuff on TV, stuff on the news, stuff in a movie, stuff, I'll just be riding my motorcycle or in the shower and something will pop in the head and you just got to write it down.
Yeah.
So obviously I had some music and I had some lyrics and I usually just start playing the music and then try to imagine singing some lyrics to that music and just say, oh, that one seems like it's going to fit. And sometimes I can like do that. And then once you start singing it, it doesn't work. But in your head, you're like, you know exactly how you're going to sing it. But then once you try belting it out, you're like, that's not what I had in my head. Why is that coming out of my mouth?
Yeah.
So my situations, I'm doing everything in my house. I'm basically recording in my living room, which is attached to it's kind of a den that's attached to the living room. So that's where the TV is. So when somebody's watching TV, I can't really. And my sons are in their room. My wife, I have to like tell them when I want to really sing, I have to go, everybody okay, 15 minutes, lock yourselves, be quiet, nobody go to the bathroom and flush your toilet. I'm recording vocals.
Yeah.
So, and then they're like, oh, you're singing that again? I'm like, well, you just gotta do it. So
Yeah.
that's the drawbacks of not having your own studio or a studio to go to. But yeah, just the 12 years thing, I just kept hearing 12 years, the temperature is going to rise and we're all going to die. And I've been around for 40 years and they've been saying that for 50 years already. So I'm still waiting for it to happen. So I just like, How many 12 years are they going to say the world's going to end before people believe they're probably not right? It's like, oh yeah. And I remember it was 2012. Yeah, the movie 2012. Al Gore said the oceans are going to rise, New York is going to be underwater. Well, we're in 2020 already, and it's way past 2012, so nothing really happened. So I don't know. Some people seem to listen to the headlines of the news and just take it for granted and not think about it. I think I don't know. That's another subject. Okay. My fifth question is, do you have any other hobbies besides music? You like cooking, gardening, or painting, or any other, or is it just all music?
Most of it is music. Before I was a musician, I was a gymnast and a dancer for nearly 10 years. And when I was 12, around the time that I went to a Kiss concert and picked up a guitar and then a bass, I cracked a growth plate in my wrist, so I did have to stop gymnastics, and I filled that time with music. But ever since I started, I really haven't stopped to do much of anything else. Besides, now I have to because I'm in 4 online summer classes for college, which kind of stinks, but I'm getting it done so I can do more music. And before this whole thing hit, I would go to Planet Fitness and work out just about every day. So I guess I kind of like to work out, but do I really? No, but should I? Yes. I try to. I don't know. I honestly don't do much outside of music. And if I do other things, like if I watch something on Netflix, my favorite show is Friends, but that's no longer on Netflix. I'm playing my bass while I watch, or if I'm doing anything that's not music, I try to be thinking about music the whole time. Even if I'm driving, I'll say, okay, what's the minor third of G? Well, it's B flat. So I always try to think about music. I always try to play music. It's really all music, honestly.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Good. It keeps you focused.
Yeah.
I'm kind of all over the place, even though I seem to now being able to get a lot done, because I'm amazed that the last 3 years I've probably written, what did I figure out, 24 songs. It's like, bam, I'm like, wow, I must be on a roll. Plus I'm doing all this other stuff, so. But ever since I was a kid, I always liked gardening. Even when I was a teenager, I wanted my roses on the side of our house. My mom had her roses, my dad had his, and I had mine in the middle. So I always cut the grass and kept the yard nice, and I always helped my mom cook. I always used to help her make oatmeal cookies even when I was a youngster. Even though I couldn't, when I was young, I could never crack the egg. I didn't want to get my hands all yucky. So when I moved out of the house, I had to crack the egg when I made my oatmeal cookies. So now I have no problem, but yeah, then I have a regular job and take care of the house, whatever needs taken care of. I mean, pretty much anything that needs to be done, I can do it. I mean, I put it in my garage. We finally, after 30 years, put a automatic garage door opener in, so I figured out how to do that. So that's me. All right, your last question.
Okay. As a one-man band, what is your live performance like? Or do you even play live shows, or are you mainly releasing music? If you do play live, do you have others play with you? Do you use backing tracks, or do you use a looper pedal? Or is there another method that you use?
I really haven't done any live shows other than I think I might have done one or two that I just recorded and put on YouTube maybe. I can't remember, but when and if I do stuff like that, it would be I take the recording and I mute the vocals and the guitar, and then I would play that through. I have a drum monitor,
Mhm.
and it has a microphone input, so I play the music and sing through that monitor, and then I play my guitar through my amp. Just kind of record it to get the balance and everything, and then see how that works out. But if I was ever to really play live, I'd want to get people. I'd have to find out some people that would gel and want to play and collaborate, just like being in another band. But
Mhm.
I tried that 3 or 4 years ago, and it didn't work out. I don't know. It might be I'm a little over the hill, but there's not too many old punkers out there that wanna. But I don't know. One day, I mean, it's hard to find. I got lucky with the three bands I was in that we all gelled and got along, but it's
Yeah.
hard to find. It's hard to find people that get along.
Mhm.
Luckily, I guess my advice would be is get people that. I heard this somewhere else before. Where else did I hear this? Somebody else was talking about the same thing. Somebody had an interview, but um, the way we always did it was if somebody didn't like something, we would change it. It's just like all of us had to agree. It's just like even if one person, nobody got, I want to play this part, I want to play that part. You know, they're just like, okay, if one person doesn't like it, then okay, we'll try something else. We'll just everybody makes it better, 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 better. If somebody doesn't like it, just makes it the best it can be. All right. I think that's all the questions. This was a blast. I appreciate you doing this.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
It's really, that's what else I was going to say. It's really good having a younger person I'm still blown away you did that AC/DC thing. That was kind of trippy. But I was like, man, you don't see too many, that's another I was going to ask you. You don't see too many younger people liking the old rock music. Do you find that your peers, your friends and stuff like different kinds of music, or are they getting into rock, or do you try to get them into rock, or what?
At high school, um, it it was hard because especially being a young female into rock music, there's more of the boys at my high school that liked rock music, but I mean more like maybe three or four that I can think of, but there was me and one other person in the entire school that I know that were girls and liked rock music. So I think it has been hard for me in that sense, but I've kind of expanded. I'm not going to high school anymore, at least attending, and I've kind of opened my eyes and looked towards more of I don't know, a larger scale. Instead of just in my town now, I'm looking in all of Charlotte for musicians of all ages, all styles, and I'm also learning that if you can read a chart, you can play just about any style. At least for drums, I guess. Um, because my drummer that I'm using right now, he is a big jazz drummer, but he comes in and plays Iron Maiden with me because he just charts it out. So I am learning that even though it's sometimes hard to find people my age that are into rock music that are dedicated enough that will be in a professional band, um, I have been finding it pretty not easy, but like it's I've been able to find musicians in my town that will play with me. Um, they're just not always my age, and I've just learned to accept that. And
Right.
hopefully, eventually, when I do move out to Los Angeles or somewhere, I will be 19, almost 20 at the time. So hopefully, there's going to be a lot more people around my age that will play with me. If not, I mean, I'm going to keep doing my thing no matter what. I don't care who's playing with me. I just, as long as I have my band and as long as I have my bass, I'll be okay.
Cool. And what are kids listening to?
I have no idea.
But it's not rock.
No, I used to kind of stay up to date with like the modern music that kids were listening to, and I think it was like pop, but now it's like changing to rap. But the other day I heard a song that like is apparently really popular right now, and I can't really tell what style it is. I think because I've been so focused on rock and metal the past few years, I'm pretty sure there's like new genres of music that I don't even know about.
Right. I think my son is kind of into EDM, electronic dance music,
Yeah.
but I don't really get it. But and he's got a pretty wide range, like me.
Mhm.
He used to play drums and bass and guitar for a while, but he's kind of given that up for the last 2 years. So maybe he'll get into it again later. But he kind of began with, we turned him on to Midnight Oil, and then he was a big Rush fan. We went to a couple of Rush concerts. Took him to a Black Sabbath concert. And took him to, he wanted to see Avenged Sevenfold.
Mhm.
And there was a couple other concerts. August Burns Red. And Mice and Men. Is that one?
Yeah.
I think Mice and Men. Yeah, that's kind of the stuff he likes. I don't know what happened to my other son. He does not like music. He forgot to get in the line or something. I don't know. He's just, my other son almost got it all, and then the other son got nothing. So how does that work?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So all right, I appreciate you doing this, and it's good to. I've been really enjoying doing this because on Twitter you're like, this person tweets you and likes your stuff, and this person like, well, I don't really. I mean, we're all busy and we're all trying to do our own thing and trying to promote others while we're promoting ours and trying to collaborate, promotion wise. You like my fans, I like your fans and everything. And sometimes we just don't have time to get everything in and really find out about the other artists you're helping out or collaborating with,
Yeah.
promoting. So people have seemed to really like this idea I came up with. So I'm really happy you did it.
Yeah. Well,
And
thank you for having
now
me.
I know who I'm talking to on Twitter.
Yeah.